You guys caught me. I was cutting paper. Okay. So I looked down and I'm like, oh, I have everything except card panels. So you guys know how that goes. I'm coming off a vacation. My son got married. So the brain is just in switching from vacation mode to work mode. So a little slowly, I might add. So, but I'm so excited to have you here with me today. We are so excited always to craft, as you know. So we're going to be working today with the Dotted Mandala, as you may have seen in the caption for this. So I'm very excited. We're also going to use the beautiful Amy Tan inks because as soon as I saw this, I was like, Amy Tan inks, because it's so vibrant and so pretty. And so I thought we would have some fun with this and a play. I also have another idea I can share with you and give you kind of the start to it. I thought it might take longer than we have today to play, and it would be very redundant. So it's a good idea to go forward. I just don't know that it would be good for live. So let me switch down to my other camera, and we will get started. Here we go. Okay, so I have, of course, the fabulous stamp wheel because we always need the stamp wheel, right? I mean, stenciling, stamping, watercolor, artist markers, anything. I need my fabulous stamp wheel. And that paper that I was cutting, as my son would say, he'd say, you were allegedly cutting paper. He's an attorney, so he likes to use that word. But I really was cutting paper. And I have my dotted mandala. And then I also pulled out some gold cardstock because, well, it's me and I love gold cardstock. So I thought that might be fun to cut out this die right here. And I think we're going to pull some vellum. Ideas are a rolling. As you know, this is why it's a crafty adventure, right? Because we don't always know where we're going to end up. So we have an idea where we're going to start, where we're going to go, but how we get there, that is the question. Okay, so we have these pieces here, but let's get started. Let's first go ahead and stamp the dotted mandala. I also thought it would be fun because this is a card that we did at the amazing event put on by Simon Says Stamp Create. Altenew was there, and we were so happy to be there and share and meet so many of our amazing customers and fans. And I had with me the amazing JC Gaspar as well. So we had a lot of fun. I got to meet JC in person, which was very, very exciting. But it was an amazing event put on by Simon Says Stamp. So much fun. And we got to play with this. One of the make and takes that we did was with the dotted mandala. So I thought it would be fun to have a play with everybody and to make this card. So I like to start with, as I call this, the star stamp. Now, when you get this, of course, we have the layering guide, right? Because it's layering. So we have the guide in there for you, okay? So this is showing you, I'm doing it backwards. I like this way works well for me. And that's the thing I think that's important is it's good to have the layering guide. I forgot to pull up the chat, guys. I wondered why it was so quiet. Hello, everyone. Hello. Now I'm seeing all the comments. There we go. Yes, we have Bernadette behind the badge today. Please make sure. Yes, he's 28. Yes, and it was a beautiful, beautiful wedding. Even the bride's parents were glad it's over, so to speak. It sounds bad to say it, but they've been together for 6 years, so it was kind of just a formality. The getting married thing, we knew it was coming. We were ready for it to come, and then all the years of planning that went into it. So by the time the event was here, like we were ready to just go and have some fun with the kids. And we did. We had a great time. Okay. So I'm going to start with what I call the star. I like the star. I like to start with the star. It may throw me off kilter, but that's okay. And another tip, if something throws you off kilter, okay, there's the die set, right? So if you're worried, you're like, oh, I never line these up right. It never works out right for me. I get very frustrated because we all have stamp sets like that we love. We love it, but we're like, oh man, I just can't get that to line up for me. So I'm going to show you a trick. So I just have a piece of paper, right? White piece of cardstock, plain old white piece of cardstock, our bestest friends, right? And we're going to grab my die cutting plates, and we're not going to die cut into the magnet. We're going to start a new trend. So I think. Now we're going to put our paper over the die, hopefully hold it in place so it cuts it all out. So if you haven't seen this trick before, this just gives you the lines, right? So this cuts this out. So then we just put the stamp inside and we stamp. So we know it's going to line up, right? Because we have that outline. So then I come away and I've got the one that I'm going to stamp on, right? And then I've also got this nice outline that I could use for something. I'm sure you guys will have lots of ideas out there. Like I said, my brain is just starting to come back to crafty life. I did get to craft a little bit because I also had with me the amazing Pam Bodeker came to my son's wedding. So we were able to craft a bit last week. Not much, but we snuck in like an hour of crafting. An hour or two of some watercolor, which was really, really soothing, as watercolor generally is. So then you just take your die cut, right? And then we're going to go ahead and we're just going to place this where it's going to go, where it's supposed to go. And you'll get it so that it's all lined up. And if it's not lined up, all we're going to do is we're going to turn till it is. There we go. Perfectly aligned. And then just making sure as much as I can that there's equal white space around all my bits and bobs. But now I know this is lined up. And I call this the star piece because you may be looking at this like, why does she call this on the star? Oh, thank you, Bernadette. Why does she call this the star? Because it reminds me of the star from Mario Brothers back in the day in the 90s when I used to play Super Mario Brothers. It reminded me of that star. So I call this the star piece. But I like to have names for all the pieces so that I can easily align them. Okay, so now this would be easy to do. So you could also do this as well, right? So this is a tip that's been around, but I always think of Jennifer McGuire on this one. So this is the piece. So I'm just going to line it back up to what we die cut. Okay, I'm just going to turn it again. You could die cut a bunch of these, and then you could leave this in your stamp wheel and just keep putting in these die cut pieces and stamping. So you could stamp and die cut a bunch of these very, very quickly. You have this jig or shim that holds your place, so you can lift this piece out and put the next piece in. So hopefully that makes sense. I can cut another one, so it will make sense. It's an old trick that's been around for a long time, but I do see Jennifer McGuire doing it a lot. I know because she loves to mass die cut, mass produce. Oh, this one is fun. It is so fun. And I thought, I was just looking at it. I'm like, oh, we could do a card where we turn this and we move this. And so we put 2 of them on there and die cut it off. You make like 2 bunches of flowers and you kind of lay them off. So what we'll do is I'm just going to fold this piece down, right? Because I don't want it to interfere with my stamp wheel fitting in there. So, and then I have my little guide in here. I've already got my first color on my stamp wheel, right? And I know because I have my dot or you have your circle, so you know where home base is. I always like to use 6 p.m. as my home base. I don't have any real strong feelings about 6 p.m., but it's always my home base. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to ink this up with our beautiful Amy Tan, and I'm using Easy Breezy for the first color. And if I don't ink it perfectly, then I can go back. Super duper easy. Probably because I called this a star, I probably should have done it in yellow, right? But this also, I just want to show you that just because the layering guide says you have, do this piece first, you don't necessarily have to. I think it's more important with flowers that you kind of follow that along. And I just missed a couple. I'm just going to do it again. Even I like the darker colors and I like having a double stamp. It just gives you a little bit of a darker of the color than you were, shown. And I also saw when I was on the website today, organizational labels are on sale. These little guys and the other ones that go on your blending brushes and tools and such. All right. So here we go. We got this on. And I mean, the color combos are endless, right? So you can just keep picking colors, picking colors, putting these in, putting these in, putting these in. And you could have over a couple hours, you could so mass produce so many of these. So I'm going to be careful because although my sticky mat is a little filthy, it is very, very sticky. Okay. So I'm going to leave this. I'm just putting it up here in this correct orientation. Then I'll come in. Oh, first time. Look at that. Holy Toledo. That wouldn't have happened if I held my breath and tried again. That would not happen. Okay. So again, easy breezy. I think we need some inking music. Okay. I should hum like Lydia because then I'm not singing. I'm going to start singing soon and that could be terrifying. Yes, don't forget to share because you could be the winner of a $15 gift card and you could go buy this amazing bundle. Or maybe you need organizational labels that are on sale. Super cool. All right. I can see I had a couple furs from the furs on here. A funny story. So Pam was leaving this morning and Emery really, really, really took to Pam and just loved Pam to pieces. She would follow her around the house. And this morning when she was leaving, I said, oh, Pam's got to go home. You're stuck with me. And her meow basically sounded like a no. So I was like, well, it's a little rough when your cat tells the guest, I don't want you to leave me with my mom. No, take me with you. So we had a good chuckle, though. Nice chuckle over that. Okay. So here we go. I'm just cleaning my stamp. I put mine in a bingo dauber. I just like it because I don't like spraying. So as you can see, it's got the orange hue of the Altenew stamp cleaner. That's what's in there. I like the bingo dauber because it doesn't spray all over my work. Many times when it was in the spray bottle, either the ceiling fan always gets me, right? Either the ceiling fan was on and it would get on my project, or I'd accidentally kind of get a little overzealous and it would get on my project. And then you got to get out the bling. And I don't have a problem with the bling, as you all know. But my problem is usually when I accidentally get ink somewhere or stamp cleaner, it may not be in the spot I necessarily wanted the bling. So I love the bling. Love the bling. Just, I like to pick where it goes. I don't like to have to be forced into bling decisions. Okay, so then we're going to come and we're going to line this one up. Okay, and again, We may need to turn it because I didn't pull it off the carrier sheet. If you pull it off the carrier sheet perfectly, right? If you pay attention, because it's in the correct orientation on the carrier sheet. I'm just pulling them off and living my best life here. But then you can bring them over. So see, now I know I'm lined up. The carrier sheet is here and I know I'm lined up. So I'm just getting it, I'm getting it into position here. Getting in position to be in position, as my husband would say. I'm trying to make sure I'm not overlapping any of my dots. If I do, not worried about it. Not worried about it at all. Because there's so much going on in the mandala, right? There's so many beautiful, intricate little dots working together. I figure if one or two of them are having a party and they didn't invite the rest of them, it's okay. It's all right. They're still going to look beautiful. All right, so here we go. And our ink music. Oh, I got something on there. There we go. Wiped it off. Don't know what it is. It's on my ink pad now. All right, this one I am going to try to stamp once, and I should be using my Stamp Perfect eraser, but honestly, I thought of it after I put the ink onto the project. So I'm going to maybe have to stamp twice because I did not treat my stamp, but we'll see how it comes out. Yeah, I'm going to have to treat it. I should have treated my stamp. That's okay. I'm just going to stamp twice and it will be beautiful. And I can also, because most of the ink's off, right? Came off on the paper. So I can now come in, wipe off the ink, and then use my fabulous Stamp Perfect eraser. Now, you may be saying, why do you have, love the name, A, and love it, it's beautiful, but why do you have an eraser? And what are you doing to your stamp? So what it is, you know, when you first get the stamp, there's extra stuff on there, right, from manufacturing process. But, so that's good, the first time you use it. I like to use it every time when my brain remembers, because, you know, we get stuff on there, like you get pet hair, speaking personally from my house, or, you know, sometimes embossing powder or just other things get on there, and it may interfere with you getting a nice, beautiful, like this would be a beautiful crisp image because I got all of that residue and gunk from using it off there. So now when I come over here, we switch to the other one. So this is the magic, right? Here's the magic too. So this is the magic. So we're just going to pop this one out and we'll pop the other one in. And remember, I'm keeping them when I move them. So to make my life easier, I'm keeping them in the same orientation. I'm not rotating them once I move them. Then, oh, maybe we did. There we go. There we go. Okay. So then we just put this into place in the outline. I'm telling you, my crafty brain has got to get back working here. It's got to get working. Yeah, I love the erasers. Oh, love the bingo dauber too. Bingo dauber, love. I've had that for a long time. I love that. Because I get overzealous with the stamp cleaner. I get overzealous with everything. But, you know, the stamp cleaner really affects me because it gets on my work and it messes it up. Okay, so there we go. We got this on here. So see the magic of this? See the absolute magic? And I'm just making sure this is lined up. I didn't check it before. And the way my crafty brain is working today, I'm a little terrified. Hopefully you guys aren't scared, but look how pretty it came out. Gorgeous. First time stamping, absolutely gorgeous. Thank you, Stamp Perfect Eraser. You are the hero of the craft room. So again, I was easily able just to switch these papers in and out, and I'm able to create multiples, right? So easy. So, I mean, I could just keep going. I could do as many as I needed. Say you have, you know, like a bridge group or a book club and you want to make lots and lots of cards for your friends. This is a super fast, easy way because you have that shim. So it's all lined up perfectly every time that you go in. Now, what you could do, oh, good. I'm glad the enthusiasm's there. Yes, yes. All right. So the crafty brain may not be working, but the enthusiasm meter is up. Yay. so the other thing you could do if you wanted to really be sure that this was good, you could like laminate this. So say this is one of your favorite sets. You love this set. And you're like, I like that shim idea. I don't want to cut one every time. So you could laminate this and have it just putting your papers in. Now, it's not really going to get dirty as you're seeing because, I mean, in the olden days, it might, right? Because we could get ink there, we could get ink there, we could get ink everywhere. But because of the stamp wheel, the ink is focused and going into the right place that we want it to go. So it's not going to get like on your paper. So that's the good thing is the shim will really last you. Okay, so depending on how I turned this when I took it off the carrier sheet, because I was just having some fun, going wild. The crafting has begun again. It's very exciting. Okay, here we go. And that's a little close there. So just making sure, I'm just kind of checking the main points. I've checked the center. Checking the main points are lined up. And like I said, if I'm a little off in one area, I'm okay with that. It doesn't, you can line it up perfectly. You can take all the time in the world and line this up. I, as you know, am getting it out most of the time to get it stamped. So I get as close as I can, as best as I can. And I'm okay with that. And we're going to use our eraser again. Hello, Laura. Welcome. 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 So glad to have you join us on a live. Now, I don't know if you guys can really see it, but it goes from like a clear, the stamp, like it's see-through clear, like your regular stamp. It almost gets like a white. So you know that you've used the eraser, you've gotten everything off, and it's ready to go. Now, this is going to likely stain my stamp pink. I'm okay with that. So I know that going in, every time I take the lid off the tickled pink, I know it could stain my hands. I don't care. I love this color. It is so pretty. All right, here we go. I mean, look at the tickled pink. It's just, whew, look at that, my friends. Oh, Linda, I'm so glad. And thank you for sharing that. I was so happy to see you share that. We got to meet Linda at Create, and we all had our Altenew aprons on, JC, Linda, and I. So we took a picture in our beautiful new artsy apron from Altenew, which is very exciting. We just love sharing. JC and I had so much fun sharing all the Altenew love. We had so much fun seeing everybody and taking pictures, and it was just a great time. It seemed like it went way too fast, though. Like JC and I at the end on Saturday, it was like 6 p.m. And I said to JC, what if we could do another project? What would we make? And we looked like across at our little area that had our product. And within like, I would say, I'm going to say 90 seconds, JC and I had another project ready to go. We were like, okay, we'd do this. Like embossing folder. Yes. Ink. Check. Like we were ready to go. It was so much fun. We were not ready to stop crafting by any stretch of the imagination. We were ready to go. We just wanted to craft. Okay. As we all do, right? All right. Here we go. So now I have 2 of these. Now, so you have some options at this juncture. So you can use, there is a coordinating die that cuts out the little holes. You can do that. Okay. So it will cut, you get one that cuts all these little pieces, and you get one that cuts the background. So you could layer together all these little pieces. Now, this was my idea. Well, I'll share the idea in just a moment, I guess. All right. Because I'll grab the ink and kind of show you. Or I guess I can show you now. I'll show you with this stamp, just so you get kind of the idea. All right. Give it an old wipe-a-roo. It might have come off. Wow, that would be cool. Okay, so we're done. We're going to be done with our shimmeroo here. Oh, not bad. So we're done with our shim. Okay. And we'll be all done with this additional piece. that we have in here. Oh my goodness, I'm knocking everything over. I'm getting cat fur on the stamp because I'm sticking it on my shirt. Okay, here we go. All the little pieces. There we go. So if we take another piece of cardstock, I'll show you my bonus idea and then we'll make our cards too. Okay. I know there are so many beautiful projects with this set and so many different takes, which I just love. So hopefully you guys are loving all of the takes as well. So this is where Roberta, her suggestion of the permanent Miss Gray. So this is where the permanent Miss Gray comes in. Oh, I got a little, my microfiber cloth had a little, threw a fit apparently and left a little behind. Not supposed to do that. I may have to take that one out of rotation. All right, get the little fuzz ball here. We don't need the fuzz balls. Okay, so this is what I would do. And I would do this with all 3 layers, okay? But I'll show you with one. So I would begin, I would stamp, and this is the first, ironically, I'm stamping it 3rd, but it's really the first layer. I just really like that star, and I like to start with my star. So it happens. Oh, goodness. Oh, no. Okay. So it's still stamping in pink. Hopefully, yeah, I got some pink on there. Apparently, I still had pink on there. Oh, well, that's okay. So the idea, though, is to take our beautiful array of enamel dots, right? I mean, or you could use the gem sparkles too, but I had the idea with the enamel dots. So let's pick a few here. Who do I have here? All right, let's do the rock collection, of course. So I can come in with my rock collection ones, and I'm going to try to stick to the size as best as possible. Although there are those itty bitties, right? But then, so you can just do the whole thing in different colored enamel dots, I think would be pretty. Now, I think also if you went through, and you could also do just this one, right? I mean, how pretty would it be just to have this simple pattern? That's the other thing with this set. If you're looking at it saying, I don't know, I have trouble layering things. I mean, hopefully these tips and tricks have been helpful with the layering portion. But if you don't want to layer, you don't have to layer. That's the great thing. You can layer, you don't have to layer. So you can come in and you can use each of these sections separately. I was trying to combine in my head the word section and separately together. It was not working, as you may have guessed. So put these in. Okay. And you could do like darkest to lightest. I just started picking a color, a random color, because originally my thought process was to pick a few colors that I love of our enamel dots, like Seashore, Rock Collection, one of the oranges. I can't remember which orange I have over here with me. I have Woodland Escape, but that wasn't what I was thinking. I was thinking like Golden Sunset, or we have Warm and Cozy. That would be a pretty one. So let's put the last one up here, right? So put that one there. And then on the inside, you could do another color, or you could stay. Let's say you want to go monochromatic. Okay. Now, because I originally thought I was stamping this in the permanent Miss Gray, this would really work with my rock collection, right? Because I would have the gray and it's all good. All good. Hello, Carissa. Thank you. Yeah, this seems to work. I used to keep all of my enamel dots, meaning all my backups, all everything in one place. And I found that I would drop this on the ground and found that it worked out better if I just put one of each color in there. So that's kind of what I did. So here, so this just gives you the idea. And I mean, you could do, I would love to do rainbow, love to do a rainbow one where you start out with, you know, red, orange, yellow, and you come out. I mean, that would be so pretty. I think this would be a fun project you know, if you say you're doing rainbow, so take your colors with you and you have to sit and wait at an appointment for the dog or the cat at the vet or something like that. I mean, how fun would it be to just have a play? Oh, and those ones work nice there. So the smaller ones work nice on those. So on these ones, you could go through because those are smaller. Now, if I'd stamped it in the gray, like not a problem, but I somehow got the pink still. And you guys saw me clean that stamp, right? I don't think I imagined cleaning that stamp, but you could do a few things. So if you wanted to do the monochromatic still, we do have the must-have gel pen set, which has a fabulous silver in there. So you could add that in there as like some doodling, so to speak. We have the brush markers that you could add some doodling in there to keep it the monochromatic. Or again, the rainbow would be gorgeous. So you could do that as well. Just come in and use, you know, a couple different mediums because unfortunately the enamel dots are a little bit bigger than that section. But the other thing you might be able to do, so see, look how it's building up. Just really, really pretty. And I think the other thing is, yes, Linda, absolutely. Absolutely. I used to do the same thing. I'm guilty of it, 100% guilty of it. I used to be like, oh, but what if I need them for a special occasion? But isn't every card a special occasion? Like, really? Because you're telling somebody, like, I thought of you today. You are on my mind and in my heart today. So isn't that every card a special occasion? That's what I'm trying to remember, is that every card is special and every card should have that extra touch. So I'm trying to get better about it. So it is a struggle, though. We also have, I'm trying to see, those are about the same size. So if you wanted to mix, that's the other thing. These are on acetate sheets. So you can kind of bring them in and see what you could do. And I saw somebody do this at Create and I was like, mind blown. I've never mixed my gem sparkles and my enamel dots. She was so brave. I was like, I gotta try that. So I'm trying that today. I'm being brave too. So the good news is you can put two of those together. So the good part about that is, even though there are those 3 dots, right? And we've put them there, nobody knows that. So we still have a pattern, right? Because we're putting 2 of those. So we still have that pattern there. So you could do these. And again, you can do these in gem sparkles because we have lots of colors in the gem sparkles as well. So lots of different options that you can do for adding to these. Now, maybe you'd rather do this here, the star here. How pretty would that be? The other thing you could do, I know we have some stitchers out there. What if you put enamel dots in here and you stitch this star in the center? Or what if you stitch these smaller dots here? So you can bring your embroidery floss in. We have beautiful, beautiful, it's a purpley gray kind of color. It's really, really pretty in the thread. What a great way to pull that into your project as well. So lots of ideas beyond stamping, right? We love stamping. We love it. But isn't it great when we can bring in a thread or embroidery and we can bring in our embellishments? We could bring in the gel pen set. So all these things, and here's the gel pen set. I have that right next to me. So I wouldn't do this all on one card. I've got sparkles. I've got this. I'm pulling this out. You could. I would feel overwhelmed. And then you can, let me just, I haven't used this one. Maybe it's run out. Oh no, I might need a new one. Oh, it had a little life. Maybe not. I might need a new one. Let me see if my gold generally works because gold loves me. Gold is my BFF. Oh yeah, there's gold. I use gold all the time. So you could come in and use your silver in the same manner, or you could do gold because we have the gold gem sparkles too, right? So how fun would that be? Or again, bring in your brush markers like the Hawaiian shores. Oh my gosh, look at that sparkle, you guys. Look at the sparkle. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Look at this sheen, sparkly sheen. OMG. That is so pretty. And it's just an extra personal touch. So I think, bring in your brush markers, bring in your artist markers, right? Because you can do multiple colors. You could do all kinds of colors on just one stamping. So that's the great thing. I mean, obviously, you have 3 layers that you're going to be stamping with this stamp set. That was how it was intended, right? We got the 3 different colors. So beautiful. But think, if you bring in the markers, if you bring in the enamel dots, and you could even bring in watercolor. Honestly, the watercolor brush markers, bring those in and add little dots of color. And you get to add, that's what I thought, Nancy. That's exactly what you were the one that popped into my head with the stitching. Nancy, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest. It was you, because Nancy does beautiful stitching. So you could still do the stitching. You could also, I think it would be fun to just like white or gold or black heat emboss this onto some watercolor cardstock and start adding watercolor all around it. That would be fun. Ink smush backgrounds. So many things. This stamp set looks like, oh, what a beautiful layering stamp set, but it's just like endless what you can do with this fabulous set. Love it so much. Love, love. Okay. And I have to tell you, I stamped 10 straight hours with it, and I'm still in love. So that's the testament. So I'm going to pick, because what my plan is, right? What my plan is I think I'm going to put these here, and then that way, whatever comes off, I could add possibly. So I think it would be nice to do the thanks. I do have a few thank you cards after the wedding that I would like to send out. So I'm going to take those off now that I know the approximate location. So having it centered is going to be okay. Let me make sure this is centered. And I love a trick I learned from JC is taking a piece of cardstock, as long as your cardstock is straight, and just butting it up against your stamp. And that way, it is straight. As long as your cardstock is straight cut and straight against the edge of your stamp wheel. You could also use the fabulous stamp alignment guides for the same thing. JC showed the trick with a piece of cardstock, and I'm like, genius. What stamper does not have a piece of cardstock near them, right? Well, this one, I guess, because I had to cut it earlier. Silly question. Guilty. Didn't have a piece of cardstock near me. Whoopsies. LOL. Is there a class or a short reel on stitching? So there is, I'm trying to remember. There is a class, yes, where Lydia did some stitching. There may be one that Jen did some stitching. They're older classes. But we do have them in Altenew Academy, and it shows stitching on the project. Okay, and I didn't get as crisp of an image that I wanted to get. Beauty of this is just a little swipe will do me. All right, here we go. Get that just into place. Pop that down. Whoop, there we go. It was fun to watch folks that had never, thank you, Bernadette. It was fun to watch folks that had never used the stamp wheel use the stamp wheel before, because, as you know, love the stamp wheel. All right, and I have not brought out my new foam tape, so we'll see how long I go. I have a backup. I'm trying to use up, I think I have, that's it. I have one little piece there. So I'm going to take this out now. And I'm going to show you my little trick. I do this whenever I do put dimensional pieces on. So I want this one right here. And so I'm not going to worry about having extra, I guess. I'm just going to worry about getting them where I want, because I can, right? I can give it room to breathe. We can give it a little room to breathe. Let's do that. Okay, so let's do right there. So that's my first one. So I'm carefully, because remember my ink is still wet, carefully going to flip that over. Then we're going to go in and we're going to trace it with a pencil. Okay. Then I'll pick that up so I don't smear that. And then, after speaking to my friend Jennifer, I feel better about my number and other of my amazing crafty friends. This will be roll number 6. So roll number 6, but I do use it on almost every card, every project. So I do love my foam tape and I use a lot of it. Okay, and I got my little fine blade scissors here. I'm just cutting this, and you can put this on your card first and then trim it off, which is also good. But then you just come in, right? Because you know the exact area that you're going to be putting the foam tape. Okay, so I'm going to put a lot less than I normally do, and I'll have to switch to squares because that's what I have near me. Then you come over, and actually, hold on, we'll do that one in just a second. So then you do the same. So I'm going to put this on just so I can see what I did, right? So I can see about how far I am. Okay. Now you could also, because these are the same thing, right? You could just trace the other one on the back of this. You could trace your leftover over here, and it would be easy to mimic. Okay. And then I'll just cut that. Only rule 6. Yes, only. Yes, I love that, Carissa. Thank you for phrasing it that way. Only rule 6. I love it. I love it. I mean, if you want to count my Kennybunk one, it hasn't been used. It's there, but that would count, I guess, too. So that would make 7 because it was opened. It's been used a little. It hasn't had to be replaced, but I have used it. All right, and these are the full thickness foam. I just want to make sure my thicknesses match. So I have it. My other one is just in my crafty closet, which is a good way from here, but I will get it after our meet today. Oh, thank you so much for jumping in, Carissa. Gotta go help the babies. Very grateful for all of our doctors and nurses. All right, so then we just pop this up in the corner, right? And we know we're all good. We know we don't have foam tape where it doesn't belong, meaning it's not going to hang over. Because whenever I get foam tape over the whole piece, let's say I put foam tape over the whole piece, never fails. I go to trim it down and I somehow cut the foam tape crooked so the piece of paper comes off and I can still see the foam tape. I don't know how I do it. I guess it's just blind luck. So then you could put this, right? You could put that in here. And then you could put this one in here if you wanted to. Maybe switch them up. I guess that's where this comes in, and you start to have a play, right? So you could also, I like the 3. So I'm going to stick with the 3. So let's do the 3. I really like the way that looks. I'm going to go ahead and pop my foam squares. Oh, my foam tape. I miss my foam tape. It's hard to believe we only ever used to use foam squares, right? Like now we have the foam tape. We can cover everything like with a couple snips of our scissors, and then there aren't 8 million backers to trim off. So I've been spoiled with my foam tape. All right, so we're going to go there. Okay. And then I'll just trim this. And it doesn't matter how I cut it now because I'm not going to use any more of this. But, and you could, right? You could trim that carefully, and you could come up in the corner and you could put this piece in there. And if I had trimmed that carefully, you could have put this piece in there. I mean, you also could, if you accidentally trim it and you're like, no, I wanted to use it, You can usually tuck these under or tuck them under somewhere, but so yeah, so I wouldn't add this one. I like just having that 3, you know, that rule of 3, right? And I think it's fun. You could also come in as well and add some of those gem sparkles in here, just on your page. You could add some of the enamel dots as well. But okay, so we've made one card. I feel bad. We've made one card in 45 minutes, but we've shared some tips and tricks. And we've also, we showed the enamel dot thing. So we had 2 card ideas. So I feel pretty good about that. All right, so then we're going to take this. And you could do this one of 2 ways. We'll do it both ways. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our dies, maybe. Okay, did I leave mine in my, I thought I took them both out. I thought I did. Did I? Maybe. Oh, goodness, you guys. I must have knocked it over when I came over here with my dots. All right, we'll just take out the other one. That's okay. That's okay. Oh, it's in the thing. I did take this one out. The one I want is in here. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're going to do this 2 ways. Just to show you the differences. Now, you could do this, right? So I'm going to carefully put this on here and carefully flip this over. I don't want to use any tape because it's my gold foil, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this onto my mat, centered as best I can, and then center this as best I can. Well, I think I liked my way I did it before. And be careful because you don't want to push into this cardstock, okay? Because it is the brushed gold, but you can scratch it with the die. So I'm going to just flip this, hold that, and now actually take a piece of rolled up satin masking tape just to hold that into place while it goes through. But that shouldn't affect my card. Okay. Then we're going to turn this on, run it through. We're rolling, rolling, rolling. Not really. Well, I guess we are because it's a roller in the machine, right? So I guess we are rolling, rolling, rolling. All right. And I think that cut all the way through. Sometimes with the more intricate designs, you can use the plate. I didn't use my plate for this. And I also may have gotten imprints in my cardstock because of my mat. I didn't. Yay! Yay! Okay. So look how pretty this is. Just using that. And I'm not going to poke all the ones out because that will take some time. And I want to show you some other ideas. So look how pretty that is, right? So the other thing, or I guess actually this is the idea because the other one would be layering. So if you want to do what we talked about, which is what they've done here they've done it with ink, but imagine these are pieces of paper. You can do that with pieces of paper. So this, see all the little dots and doodads? See all my little gold pieces here? You can use this as a guide. Put this on your paper and start inlaying those, okay? And I know some of you are going, inlaying? You don't have to inlay, but you can. You can. And that's what's great, is the versatility of this set, is that you can inlay it. You know, and if not, if you're like, inlaying is not my jam, but you know what? I love all those little pieces. I love to make shaker cards. That's not me saying it. I do love to make shaker cards. I just don't do it very often. I need to do it more. But you could take all of these bits, right, and use them as shaker bits, okay? But then the other great thing is, so you come in and you have this card and you just on simple vellum is beautiful, right? I think I've used all my white cardstock that I had chopped up. So if we flip over this, so you could also do it on white, right? And you could also, the other thing you can do, because this lines up, so let's see how this lines up. Anyways, this, just to give you the idea, this will line up within your die cut. So you could stamp it, right? And then, where's my center? There's my center. Trying to line it up through the thing after it's chopped up. There we go. Well, kind of close. You guys get the point of where I'm going. So you could stamp this underneath in the bright colors and then overlay some gold or overlay the vellum on top and get a beautiful finish. But I think for me, this is like a very classic, very beautiful, beautiful card. Very simple, but very beautiful. Now you could do it the other way as well, right? So if we take this, go down to 4 1/4. I don't know what size that was. It was an odd one. Okay. And then, so you have this die full of these pieces. Okay. And I have one of those gadgets. So I'm just going to try to LOL. I'm going to try to get most of them to go on this piece of paper. So this is just a little die brush that you can get. And what it does is it mass knocks out these pieces. So if you are going to re-inlay these pieces, I would not suggest doing the brush technique. I would try to poke them out in order, put the die down and poke them out and get them as close to where they fit as possible. I just want to use my die again. And these bits, I probably will just sweep up off my desk and use as shaker bits. So I wish I had the time to sit and play with the bits and make a shaker, but I just don't at this juncture. So I didn't get all my pieces out, and I know I lecture you guys about getting all your pieces out when you die cut. So I apologize. So we're going to do this the opposite way. We're going to take our card panel with the vellum, okay? Now, I mean, how pretty would this be? Imagine this in a silver, white, and blue around winter. I mean, how pretty would that be? You could put happy winter across this, and I think you would get a cool effect. You're not using a snowflake, so it's not a snowflake, right? But you're getting that kind of, you're tricking your brain, right? A lot of times your brain, what it sees, it wants to believe. You could, Karen, what a great idea. So you have a mass production of tittles of all sizes here for your I's, J's. What else out there has a tittle? I can't think of other letters at the moment, but you know there's another one out there lurking. So yes, you could put these in a little baggie, and for all those tittles you lose, because you know you lose them, you're like, oh, I got to watch the tittle. I'm going to lose it. And then you go to put your top of your J on there, and sure enough, it's gone. It's gone. All right. So this one was a little bit more delicate. I would have to run this through again. But the whole point was just to show, oh, maybe not. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Brush, 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 brush. And the vellum is pretty good. You can just kind of see. So you could have some clear circles. So really, lots of great embellishment. So that side I should have cut again. And the reason it didn't cut is not the die. It's not the machine. It is me. Because remember, I told you, always take those pieces out because it can't cut if there's a piece in there. But I was rushing to show you this, so I didn't do that. But if you do it the right way and use your die with no pieces in it, it'll cut beautifully. And I mean, I think both examples with just the gold and the vellum are absolutely gorgeous. So, and then, you know, if you wanted to do like a winter effect, look at that. I mean, look how pretty. And then just your sentiment across. And then the other thing is you don't have to cut it dead center. Cut one on one side, flip it over, cut it on the other on your same panel. So you leave that piece in the middle. That would be gorgeous. I mean, so many options with this die set. Again, always clean your die though, because see, because that piece of cardstock is in there, it creates like a flat surface. So when the die goes to push down and cut even the vellum, it can't because there's that paper in there. So make sure, take your time and do that. Nancy doesn't lose. Oh, oh, that's a good Bernadette. Yes, absolutely. They are, when they know you need something, when you need to save it for a project or something, they move faster than lightning. They are so fast. So the other thing you can do with this, which we'll do, and I think this would make, if you are somebody that likes to make ornaments, maybe you like to put pictures on them. Okay. This is terrific for this. So then you just come in and you get it lined up again, right? And I'm trying to be careful because, again, it's that brush gold cardstock. I can't speak. My throat still is very sore from the weekend. All right. And because I'm going to die cut this, I don't feel bad about putting down the paper. I mean, the tape. And my tape is not very sticky, so I don't know that it's going to do much. But we're hoping, fingers crossed, right? Okay. So we got that there. And then I should use 2 pieces of tape. Keyword should, because that could move so easily on me. And it probably will. But again, I wanted to get the idea out to you and just show you this. So if it moves and if it cuts a little crooked, I'm okay. I like to get the ideas out because I know that you guys can go and recreate them or rewatch it. But if I focus on getting all the pieces out or getting it lined up perfectly, then maybe you might not get an extra idea. So I'd rather give you all the ideas. So look at this. So it's the same thing, right? Before we just cut the outline, right? We just did the outline and we stamped the inside. This cuts and then cuts the outline. So how fun is that? And how pretty is that? So I think this might be fun. I don't know who makes that one. I had a Spellbinders. Oh, that was a Sizzix. I've had this for probably 20 years. It's just a little die brush. Just look up the phrase die brush. And it will do it out. Because, the die picks or tweezers, they take so long. And that little gadget just it will fling them everywhere. I will warn you, it's like snowing in your space, but it's okay. But yeah, so I could see this. My son graduated and got married in the past 2 weeks. So I could put a little picture of him and Jules, or I could put a picture of his graduation picture, put these back to back, pop a piece of vellum in the center, put them back to back, put his cute little face on there, and I could have a cute Christmas ornament for my mom, right? So, or a cute winter ornament. Just because you like ornaments, it doesn't have to go on a tree. You could have them, just hang them up, or maybe you just like ornaments in general. So you could, all you would do, right, is you would cut this same shape out again, but this time just use the vellum. Oh, I almost fell for it. I almost cut into my mat. Okay. So this time we're just going to cut the vellum, the shape, because we don't need the dots this time. We just want the shape, just to show you how pretty that will be. And then you would go ahead. So you would cut 2 of the gold or whatever color you wanted as your main focal color. Oh, I have to show you this. I made it by the skin of my hairy chin. Look at that. I don't even think I can show you how thin that is. Look at that. Talk about making it. Wow. All right. So then, right, you just line this up. Just rotate it. There we go. So, and then you would put another piece of the gold on the back and then put your photo. And I mean, your photo, you would just measure it. So if I went for that, if you did your photo about 1 inch in the center, I think that would work perfect. And most folks with your computer, you can print those little photos. But so I apologize for a little bit. We got 1 card made, right? But we had lots of card ideas. So I think that sometimes the more important is having all those ideas get out there than necessarily the cards being finished. And because I could have done 1 card with you start to finish and that was it. Or we could have done a bunch of ideas. And then of course, You can layer them up on the gold and vice versa. I think I chopped up my gold one, so I can't show that one anymore, but here it is. So just ideas for all year long. And then try the rainbow, try it with watercolor, try it with your brush pens, your artist markers, your enamel dots. Just try it with all the things that you have. You could also cut this out of lots of different colors of our beautiful patterned paper and pop those down on there. So many wonderful, wonderful ideas with this fabulous, fabulous set. So I hope that you were inspired today by the beautiful, beautiful dotted mandala, because it's just absolutely a gorgeous, gorgeous set. And thank you for bearing with me while I get all the crafty air out of there from being on break for a little bit for my birthday and the wedding. So thank you so much for bearing with me and crafting along with me. I appreciate that. And I hope you found an idea today that really, really speaks to you in your space to do with the beautiful dotted mandala. So we're very excited, as always, to share these beautiful, beautiful products with you. And yes, thank you so much for baby's first Christmas ornament. That's a good one. That's a great one. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we love it when you come and have a chat with us. We always like to catch up. And thank you also for allowing all of us at Altenew to help you craft your life. We'll see you all very soon, my dear friends. Bye, everyone.